Good day, everybody. AJ outside. I want to do another okra video. Um, we planted a heirloom variety called an Alabama Red, and I thought it'd be good to do a comparison video just to see how heirloom okra produces and compares to a developed okra or a hybrid okra. This is the Clemson Spineless, and it is probably one of the most popular ones in this area to grow. And it is, a prolific producer, and it puts okra out, well into the fall. Same with the emerald green on this row. And this is actually my favorite okra so far that I've tried. That's why we did a full row of it. And so the Clemson finally starts out producing a little more, and then the emerald green kind of starts out slow. I think because it puts so much energy in such a beautiful plant, because it's probably the most beautiful okra plant I've ever seen. But after it catches up and it gets about waist high, which is probably starting to do now, it'll start kind of being equivalent to the crimson spineless. But the unique characteristics about the emerald green is kind of like a round, narrow, round okra, and I like it because it's easy to saute whole. And I love pickling these because they can, more of them can fit in a pickle jar, and then they more of a uniform shape. Whereas with the crimson spineless, you get some skinny ones, fat ones. If you leave them on there too long, they'll get hard. Whereas the emerald green will get hard too. It's a little more forgiving than the crimson spineless, but overall, I like it the best. Now this Alabama Red, it has some great characteristics, and I can't wait to try it. Never tried it. Um, I couldn't find it anywhere locally. I had to order it online, and I'm in Alabama, so being from Alabama, I had to try the Alabama Red. It's amazing you can't find it anywhere in any seed stores in Alabama. I had to order it online, out of state, but anyway, well, I'm glad to have it. Um, the unique thing about this one is that on these right here, I just sowed them directly into the ground when the soil was moist, and they popped right up. They germinated very quickly. With 4 to 5 days, they started popping up out of the ground. This one right here, this heirloom variety, it already started out a little tough because it's very slow germinating. Matter of fact, the seed company recommended soaking them in water for I think 24 hours and then planting them. And I just said, well, I never soak okra in water. I'm just gonna plant them in the direct soil in this moist ground. But I'm thinking that was probably a good idea to do that because it took about 2 weeks for these to start popping up, because I thought that they had bad seeds and they were gonna not come up. And I was in the process of replanting, and all of a sudden, like magic, I just start seeing them pop up out of the ground. If you grow a, heirloom variety, they are a little slower to germinate and probably going to be a slower producing plant because, like I said, they're not a hybrid, and they're not mixed with two different varieties or several different varieties to be a big producer or um, handle the heat real well. That's why I kind of planted it over here a little bit where we get a little bit of more shade over this side. So I just kind of planted them over here, and these right here handle full sun pretty well. So, but anyway, I just wanted to chronicle, the situation. I planted them all around the same time, so which I planted these probably in mid March. But anyway, we planted these pretty early because now it is the 1st of June, and we're already getting okra and picking okra. The Clemson Spineless are already putting out. We got a few from the emerald green. I suspect over the next 3 or 4 days, though, we're gonna really be start harvesting okra. These right here are very slow to, once they bloom and they form a pod. They're very slow to form into some okra because I've already witnessed that. I only harvested one of these okra, and they're beautiful okra. They look just like they do on the seed packet. A real fat okra with your little red hues. You can see the plant is beautiful. It has the beautiful red hues on it. So looking forward to a good productive year. Prolific producers. They last a long time. So we're gonna kind of compare them with the heirloom variety and see how well it does. All right, y'all, want to give an update on the okra, see how they're doing. It's probably a week or so later. So I'm gonna give you a shot at how they're producing. I've been out of town for about 3 days, so hadn't been on top of them. So we got some out here that's probably a little hard. So, but if you can see the crimson spineless, got some nice okra. Matter of fact, we're gonna probably cook some okra tonight. Almost every plant has okra that needs harvesting. That one right there might be hard. Like I say, okra is one of those things. If you go out of town, you better have somebody to pick them for you, because if not, you get back, they'll be hard. That one might be hard. So, but anyway, they're putting out about like they should. Same with the emerald green. You know, every pod or every plant has pods that need harvesting, and they're about to reach their peak. The emerald green is probably, you know, like I say, it's waist high, a little bit, but more than waist high. The Clemson Spineless, we might hold around them and put a little fertilizer on them. These emerald greens grow so prolific that they may be blocking E from sunlight, you know, and probably stunning their growth a little bit. So let's look at the heirloom variety of Alabama Red. Like I say, those pods are very slow to turn into an okra, but when they do put out a pod, they just put out that little fat pod right there, and it looked like it's probably hard, but that's just a characteristic of that okra. So that we're gonna harvest this one, the Alabama Red. So as I anticipated, we have like one per plant. We got two there. So they seem to be doing pretty good. Each plant look like it has a pod that needs picking. Yeah, so they're doing pretty good so far. The Alabama Red. So we're gonna go through here and harvest them, and then we'll let you see what we harvested. Okay, this is our harvest of the emerald green and our harvest of the Clemson Spineless. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pour that in there, and then we're gonna harvest our Alabama Red. Okay, y'all, that is our Alabama Red. So not a real big prolific harvest, but I'm still happy with what we got. You know, we definitely can make a meal out of this. So I'm definitely gonna cook these by themselves and see if the flavor profile is different. You know, on a heirloom variety, the Alabama Red or red variety, versus the traditional ones that we you know, grow and cook all the time. So, but anyway, I really appreciate y'all for watching so far. It looks like the okra kind of at its peak. Look like I got some starting to get a little bit on the mature side. I said, well, I'm gonna try to get this done before it get dark and wrap up the video, so we don't have too many hard okra on here. So, but anyway, I'll give you a quick look. But so far, you know, the heirloom variety, they seem to be putting out just as much as the hybrid variety. So, you know, they may have one pod per at a time, so they don't bloom quite as fast. You see, we started to put a cluster of blooms out right there. So, but they usually come out. They usually gonna have one fat pod of those Alabama Reds, and these things are so nice and meaty. That one got two on it, but every plant is gonna have a pod on it. So, so my experience is this heirloom variety has been pretty productive. You know, I've been pretty pleased with it. Easier to maintain, you know, than these ones that are constantly putting out a lot of okra. You know, they'll get hard on you very fast because they are more designed to just put a lot of okra out. So these are emerald green, and they just grow a lot faster than the heirloom variety. So you got less time. That's like the good and the bad. The good is that they put a lot of okra out, but the bad part about it is that you got to really stay on top of them at least every other day. So that right there, that might have got hard on us. And it just was 2 days ago I was out here. So not as much worry with the heirloom varieties as far as, because they're a little bit slower to produce more okra. So that's the benefit of those. So if you plant enough of them, you'll probably be fine. So it's a shot of the Clemson Spineless. So we're gonna try to do a quick harvest before it get dark. Okay, so here are our heirloom varieties, our Alabama Red. So we got a pretty nice harvest again. So we're gonna harvest the hybrids next. Okay, so these are you know, the hybrids on top. The emerald green and the crimson spineless. So in conclusion, you know, and I'm sorry for being so late out here, but there, of course, you know, with the hybrid varieties, you're going to get more production. Um, but you got to stay on top of them and keep them trimmed because they're going to put out, you know, a lot faster than these heirloom varieties. So I really like having a combination of both because it doesn't put you under too much pressure on these to come out so fast and pick them. They take a little bit longer to get hard because they grow a little bit slower. So like I said, just give you a little more time. Um, and they've been pretty prolific producers though. I've been happy with the production of them. So um, if you grow them, you heirloom variety, you might want to, you know, grow at least a 75-foot row. That the emerald green probably about maybe closer to 100 feet. They probably not the kind of okra. The hybrids are probably not the kind of okra you're gonna want to grow in a raised bed and just grow 8 to 10 plants because you're probably not gonna get a lot of production at one time. Whereas these you can probably better for a container or a small garden or raised bed. You can have 10 or 12 of these plants growing kind of tight and they'll do fine, you know. I hadn't grown a lot of varieties of okra, but so far the emerald green is my favorite. We're gonna do some more comparison video, do some different varieties. But so far, I really love this okra because one is it's not a very meaty okra, but it's good enough for what I do. I do a lot of sauteing, I do a lot of pickling, so it's perfect for that. You can also use it in gumbos and soups, but the Clemson Spineless is probably better for overall okra because you can pickle it too, saute with it, but you know it's got a little meat on it, so it's good for soups and gumbos. But this Alabama Red is perfect to me. I can't wait to make some gumbo or some soup out of them because they just a real meaty okra, just perfect for something like that. Now we have sauteed some and they were good, but just overall a wonderful okra. I really appreciate y'all for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, and give it a thumbs up. Be on the lookout for some more okra videos we're gonna do. I appreciate you for watching and please subscribe to AG Outside. Have a great day.